Oh boy, here we go. Hi everybody, it is me, Juan Films here. Welcome back to the channel. It is so great to see you all again. And I just got a brand new job at Target. And it's pretty exciting that I'm actually going back to work because, in case you guys didn't know, I haven't had a job in like 6 to 7 months. Ever since I left Kroger back in December, because I was going away for Christmas vacation and all that. And then I was actually starting, spring semester at a brand new campus in Atlanta. So I decided to take some time away from work to, get used to the new campus and like do other things here and there. And then this summer, I decided to go back to work because, I'm already used to the whole new college schedule and everything with the whole new campus and all that. And then I feel like that it's necessary for me to go back to work. Plus, I need the money because I'm not going to say if I'm low or if I'm high or anything, but like I do need the money. I really need money. So I am here today to talk about my top 5 crazy work stories. And these are just some of the work stories that either got me either pissed off, laughed off, made me smile, or just, like the stories that I think to me are the most memorable. I could definitely say, top 5 most memorable work stories, but I'm gonna have to put top 5 crazy work stories because although some of these memories, or at least like one of them or something like that, is a pretty good story, I still think it's just a bit crazy. So I'm just gonna call it, my top 5 crazy work stories. And that's from the times that I both worked at IHOP and from working at Kroger. Because in case you guys didn't know, I worked at IHOP as a host pretty much in most of my freshman year of college, right up until COVID hit. And that was when, the restaurant closed until it opened back up back in August of 2020. And then that was at around the time that I got the job at Kroger, and I was working at the meat and seafood department at that store, and I worked there for about 16 months. And I could definitely say that working there was a lot better than working at IHOP. And I just hope that me working at Target will be a great experience. I hope I get to learn a lot from working there and learn a lot from, my future careers and everything. So yeah, I just hope that, Target will work well for me. And with that said, let's get started with the top 5 crazy work stories. So this isn't gonna go in like order, from least craziest to the craziest. This is just, the stories that I can just remember and that I feel like putting in the top 5. So number 5, the story that I kind of remember the most was the first time I had to do a closing shift for Kroger. So the first night that I had to do like a whole like closing shift like for 8 hours was, I think, was back in the election day when Joe Biden won the presidency and all that back in like November 7th of 2020. I actually had to close that night because one of my other coworkers who was supposed to close with me called out, so I had to be the one to close. And so during my shift and everything, not a whole bunch, but like 3 situations happened. But like the one that I can definitely tell a lot of people about was that one time when I was helping that old lady out. So I went to go finish doing some stocking and all that, and then this one lady came up to me, and then she was asking to see, if we had that certain product or if we didn't have that certain product. And then I told her, I'm gonna go check in the back to check and see if we have it. And she was like, okay, thank you, great. And then I checked in the bag, and I didn't see the product that she asked for. And so when I came up back to the front to go to the lady, this one man actually came up to me to help him search for something over at the seafood section. I kind of got a little distracted there because I was helping the old lady first, and you're supposed to help the customers that came up to you first, then go to the next customer because that's the way it is. So I kind of didn't do that, and then I went back to the lady and I told her that we don't have that product, and then she started getting mad at me. Like, she was straight up pissed. She even threatened to go to the manager to get me fired. And like, I told her that it's a long night. This is the first like alone shift that I had. But then she just kept making excuses to like get me fired and all that. But like, you know, that's just one mistake I made, and it was like unintentional too. Like, I felt bad that I pissed her off and all that, and I tried to make it up for it, but then she just continued yelling at me. After that, she just walked away, and I tried to help her out again the best that I could, but then she just walked away. Thankfully, she didn't get me fired, but shit, I'm sorry for the cursing, but it was a crazy night, and that was definitely a crazy situation. So number 4 for crazy work stories that happened to me was actually back in like September, October, November, around that time last year. So the seafood case was actually closed for a short period of time because we were all understaffed, and like we had to go through, you know, our other job opportunities and shit like that. And then so, why do I keep saying the S word? I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as family friendly as possible, but I kept saying the S word, so I apologize for that. So, but yeah, like I was saying, so, you know, we have to close the seafood cage because, you know, we have to deal with our other jobs and everything. So, so I was, you know, cleaning up a few things here and there. I think I was closing the department. I forgot, honestly. So, I was doing some tasks, and then this one old lady that usually comes in, like, a lot in our store, she was actually yelling out, "Hello, is anybody here?" And then so I just went up to the lady and just be like, "Yes, ma'am, how can I help you today?" And she's like, "Can I have one salmon, please?" And then she didn't even realize that we had the seafood case closed. And then I told her, I unfortunately can't give you the salmon, ma'am, because right now our seafood case is closed, so we're not able to like serve for our customers and all that. But then she was like, "But do you guys have any salmon in the back?" And I just told her, "Yes, we do, but we can't serve seafood if the seafood case is closed." And then she started going off on me like, "I don't care, I want that damn salmon." So I was like, "Well, dang, Karen." So I unfortunately had to go serve the salmon for that old lady. So, but I was kind of laughing my ass off rather than be pissed about it. I wasn't like pissed. I was just like, wow, I can't believe she went off on me like that, despite, you know, knowing that the seafood case is closed. So I decided to serve the salmon anyway, so that way I won't get press charges or anything, or she won't threaten to go to the manager to get me fired like that other lady that I told you guys about. So yeah, at the end of the day, she was happy. I was laughing my butt off. Okay, so number 3 was kind of more or less of the opposite than the last story, because this situation was funny, but I was more pissed than laughing my butt off. So, it was one time, I think I just came into work, and then, you know, the seafood case was already open and all that, because it was an afternoon shift, and like the seafood case is usually always set up in the mornings and everything. So, you know, I was getting ready for my shift and all that. You know, I already clocked in, and, you know, I already put my lunch in the break room and all that. And then I saw a customer who needed some help with some seafood and all that. And then I went to her, and then she was asking for like shrimp or something like that. And then afterwards, she asked to get it steamed and all that, and then she wanted me to put some seasoning or something like that. I forgot, honestly. I don't think she asked for seasoning. I don't remember. So, you know, I set it up, you know, the seafood. I think it was white shrimp. Yeah, I put the white shrimp in the bag, and then I asked her if you wanted, you know, it steamed, and then she said yes. And then I put it in the steamer, and I told her that it's gonna take like 10 to 15 minutes to get it steamed. And then she just went back to me like, "Oh, no, I don't want it steamed." And then in my head, I was just like, I want to beat the crap out of that woman. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't like, you know, doing violence against other people, you know. Obviously, but at the same time, I just wanted to, like, you know, go off on her and just be like, but you said you wanted it steamed. So I was kind of more pissed on the inside, but I was kind of more laughing on the outside because I just thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I thought it was BS that she kind of did that. So I had to take all that shrimp out and then put it back in the bag and just serve it to her. Hey, have a good day. Bye. And then, I know I said I wanted to beat the heck out of that woman, but, I didn't really mean it that way. So I apologize if that came out wrong for y'all, because, I try my best to be nice to people, but sometimes people can take me to a tipping point. So better watch out for that, guys. Number 2 will be one of the only 2 stories that I'll tell about IHOP. Even though IHOP, there's like a good amount of crazy stories from IHOP, but these are like the 2 that I think are the craziest for me. So number 2 has to be that one time, I sat an African American family, and then I sat them to a server who clearly didn't even want to serve that African American family, and then that African American family felt offended by the fact that they overheard her say that she didn't want to serve them, and they thought it was because of their race and all that. And I'm just like, well, dang, that's kind of messed up. That's kind of racist, don't you think? And then obviously, our boss had to pull us out from the front, and then he was telling us they felt offended that, you didn't want to serve them because of their race and all that. And then he was yelling at me for saying, hey, I know servers, think that they need the time to like rest and all that before they get new customers and all that. I don't care. This is a business. Just sit them wherever we have seats available and clean. And then, me and the server kind of, talked about it here and there and stuff. We apologized with each other and everything. So, yeah, we kind of talked about it. And then we kind of started making jokes that we kind of did that. She said that on purpose, and like we didn't, really mean to like hurt them in any way possible and all that. So I kind of felt bad. I mean, even though it wasn't really my fault because it was my job to, sit the people, and it was the server's job to serve those people. So it was kind of the server's fault as to why she didn't want to serve the African American family. It wasn't really my fault. I just sat them wherever. So just thinking about it, it's just funny and a little bit crazy to me because, it was a nice woman who I didn't think it was that racist. But then again, I thought some of the servers were pretty racist, to be honest, because I know there was like one server who didn't want to help one of my friends who was Indian and all that just because she was Indian and everything. So yeah, IHOP to me was kind of like a racist place. And the number 1 craziest story that I tend to remember on a daily basis is that one time I kind of got traumatized by one of my bosses at IHOP. So, I came in, early this morning, I came in after a weekend off because I had to go dog sitting that weekend, so I wasn't able to come into work. So I came in with, the other boss, the boss that doesn't usually come in the mornings. He usually comes in the evenings. So, I came in, signed in and all that, clocked in. But then there was this new host who was new to the company and all that. So, I was training him, helping him learn how, all the hosting jobs work. And then he later on became a server. So, because in case you guys didn't know, the hosts at IHOPs later become servers. Well, not me. I decided not to become a server because, being a server looks like a terrible job. So I decided to just go with the host job anyways. So, I was training him, becoming a host and everything, seating people, taking to-go orders and all that. And then, I kind of made like one simple mistake. Like I made like, an ordering mistake, or I accidentally like ring up an order or something like that. And then my boss just kind of went up to me and then he just like went off on me and just being like, why did you do this? Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, I was a bit speechless, and then I was trying to apologize, trying to explain to myself, and then he just started going to my head and just be like, hey, is there something going on over there? Like, I mean, I don't remember if he exactly touched my head or something like that, but like he was kind of, pointing his finger on my head.
thinking as if like I had some mental issues and all that. And then he was like, okay, wake the F up. I mean, he didn't say those exact words, but it just felt like he said those words. And then for the rest of the day, I was just like, what in the world just happened? Why did he do that to me? For some reason, I wanted to straight up cry because I felt a bit traumatized because of that. And then, after all that happened, like at the end of the day, I think he went up to my friend, the one that was Indian that I told you guys about, really good friend, love her, all that. He actually went up to her and he was asking her if I was the R word. So that's kind of offensive in my opinion, number one. Number two, you shouldn't really ask people about that. You should ask, the person that you have the problem with first, but don't say those exact words. Just ask, do you have like a mental health problem or something like that, like in a proper manner, instead of like, going up to, another person, just be like that, because that's kind of rude. That's disrespectful. That's offensive to like those who have mental health problems. So yeah, definitely that boss was just straight up rude to me that day. He was offensive as well. I was traumatized because of that. And thank God I left IHOP once COVID happened, because before I left IHOP, like the very next weekend, they were about to schedule me to come in at 8 or 9 or something like that. And then they didn't have me at an end time. Same thing with like every other employee in the store. They gave them like a time to enter in, but not like an end date. Because, usually end dates are like, 8 to 4 or like 9 to 5 or something like that. They had like 8 to nothing. They were about to have that for me as well. But thank God I left before that happened to me, because I hated working at IHOP so much. And when they reopened after the COVID lockdowns, they opened under new management and I never got a call back, and I was like, oh, thank God. And that was when I applied to Kroger, did my interview, did everything, filled out all the forms and all that, and got the job. And to say the very least, although I've had my bad moments at Kroger, I still enjoyed the job a good bit. But I'm thankful I left that job.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please comment down below your crazy work stories, or like the work story that you think is the craziest to you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!